first of all say this is not a commission meeting. This is a meeting where we just want to talk about the CDBG-CV grant, the $300,000 grant that the commission applied for and was approved for. And we want to make sure that we're trying to use the time. We're hoping that they still will come on, because they have been asking me, and of course I've been asking Ashton, so maybe we can talk together to see exactly how can we move this project forward. I am so happy to have with us this morning, in presence here, of course, Chief Leon Frazier, Ms. Gertrude Benjamin, and Bernice Frazier, Director of Macon County Healthcare Authority, and of course, Ms. Ashton Hutchison, who represents the South Central Alabama Development Commission, the agency that work with us on this, that's working with us on this project. And we just wanted to try to see if we can answer any questions and get some clarification in terms of what we can do, how can we move this project forward. It has been approved, but we want to try to see if we spend the money. So, and we are recording this meeting. Those individuals, hopefully, if they do not get on, can go back and watch it. So, let me welcome everybody here this morning. Miss Ashton, I'm going to turn it over to you to give an opening statement briefly, if you would, and let's just talk about some of the issues and the questions that we have and how can we address it. And Ms. Frazier says she may have specific questions about her particular request, okay?
All right, well, first of all, thank you for having me.
Pull up a little, between Mike and me.
Thank you for having me, and I'm hoping that I can answer the questions that you all have. We do have a lot of different activities in this grant, which makes it more difficult to administer and to make sure that we are following all of the CDBG-CV rules and regulations. So I think that we can go through each individual activity if you would prefer to, but the one that is going to be the most difficult to administer will be the business grants and loans. There's a lot more regulations and paperwork that will go along with disbursement of funds. Equipment that's simple enough to go through, rental and utility assistance, there are already rules and regulations established there. Food distribution should be fairly simple as well. So really I think the business grant alongside this will be more complicated to administer.
Okay.
If you have specific questions, I'm happy to go through each budget item, but really I'll answer your questions if you have.
Let's start with, if you don't mind, let's start with the food assistance, because that's a real pushing need right now.
All right, of course.
And I've been getting, how can we get that out to the individuals fast, and what we need to do to get that in the hands of the people so we get some food?
To request funds for food distribution, all I would need are receipts or, because I know we mentioned paying for fuel. We could do mileage, but I just need documentation of what is being spent so that I can request those funds back.
Okay. So
however food would normally be purchased is fine. I would just need documentation of that process.
because it still has to be purchased up front, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or either it has to be, I don't need a canceled check necessarily, but I need something that shows me how much money to request.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just an invoice, or I don't know what the process is for food purchases, but whatever the normal process would be, I don't necessarily have to have a canceled check to request reimbursement.
I have a question on that.
Yes, ma'am.
So they can purchase food through the food banks as well, right? So they can they provide you the budget that they have with the food bank? Because most organizations have a budget
Okay.
that they spend with the area food banks, and so if they provide you with that, is that sufficient?
Yes, that would certainly be helpful, but we would need more documentation than just that budget to go with.
Let me ask you this. I'm sorry, Bernice, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What about, for example, now, they've been purchasing food all along. Can we bring some of those receipts of the food that they've already purchased?
Yes.
Because they don't have money right now to just make a separate purchase.
Anything that is dated after 7/28/21.
July 28th.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That may be helpful, because I'm sure they have purchased some food and had some gas expenses since then
Okay.
that we could probably go back and get reimbursed for.
Yes.
Okay. Is Ms. Hurd on?
No.
Okay. Okay, that's the thing is we're going to try to see how can we expedite that,
Of course.
get some money to them. I knew we did, so we took off, did we, there was, I'm looking at the budget here, Ashton, I think I brought the wrong one. The
have
final
revised
budget was revised, right?
It was, yes, sir. We moved, so the utility assistance, I believe you're gonna see 140,000 on that one, sir. We
Okay.
took 50,000 from utility assistance and rolled it into business grants and loans for a
Okay.
total of 105.
Okay, now, that's the other one, we've got some businesses that really are hurting. And the utilities companies trying to work with them, they're calling me saying, when and how can they expect some money? What can we do that to how can we handle that too? Because they don't, somebody will have to go pay their utilities for them in order to be reimbursed. And they don't have the money to pay them. How can we handle that program? Or can we pay it directly to the utilities company? Can the utilities company send us a bill for those persons that we'd like to try to help and the money can be paid directly to the utilities company?
So it would have to be made in the form of a grant to the company, to the business. There would have to be an application process for that business to complete. Sometimes it doesn't have to be complicated, but there would have to be a process for that company to apply for a grant for these services. Does that make sense there? We can't simply write a check to a business that needs the money. There has to be a process for approving that company to receive the money. Because we still have to tie this to COVID. We have to be able to show that the company is impacted negatively by COVID and that they will benefit from these funds. So it's not as simple as saying this business, and this business need funds for utilities. There has to be an application process of some kind.
Okay. And my next question is, because I don't think anybody's on from, I think you said on the community action to do that. And but in the event that for some reason they don't want to continue to do it or can't do it, because do you have an example of any applications process that we could possibly use to kind of expedite this? I may need to get the commission to redirect that some kind of way. Can the commission do the application and accept and approve grants?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now, will the Development Authority not be administering that part? Because
Who?
Macon County Economic Development.
Well, I was hoping they would be on here today to confirm that, because make sure that they understand exactly what needs to be done. Because I don't know whether they're waiting for us or what.
I would think that they would already have some type of a process for assisting businesses. I don't know that, but
Okay. What about, so you said, so utility assistance would put them to come all under grants, right?
yes, anything that goes to a local business would need to be phrased in the terms of a grant or a loan, not as direct utility or rental assistance, but as business assistance. They then can use the money how they need to.
Okay.
What would be the difference between a grant and a loan? Or are you just using those interchangeably?
I am at this
Okay.
point. I'm assuming it would be grants.
A grant and a loan. She said grant or loan, and so I was asking her what would be the difference, but she's just using them interchangeably.
Okay.
That would be up to the commission. If every one of them is a grant, it's fine too. It's just listed as grant loan.
Okay.
That's the activity.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to get it from you.
I hope we don't get into loans.
Well, that's what I was thinking too, that's why I asked her, because
Try to put an end to the program.
Because if it is a loan, it must be underwritten that.
Okay. Anybody else get on yet?
No one else.
I didn't bring my phone. So, okay. So we need an application process for a grant that would take care of rental assistance, utility assistance, and business. What about residential assistance, utility assistance? That's something, we won't need to do that anymore.
No, sir, we still have that. We still have 90,000 for utility assistance for residential.
But I'm saying,
utilities.
how would,
The community action,
community action, yeah, community action, but they don't have the money to pay in advance. Say, looking in terms of guidance, I said,
okay.
how can we do that?
If they could identify how much they need, based on the number of families they plan to serve, then we can request that money upfront.
Okay,
But I need a number from them. I cannot draw down $90,000 and have it sit in the bank account and be spent as needed. Those funds must be dispersed within 14 to 16 days of being put into that account. So that is the reason we can't draw down the money in advance. It cannot sit in the account longer than 14 to 16 days.
okay. I think that they would, I don't think that should be a problem.
Okay.
Particularly right now, the number of people been calling me in the last couple of days. I could probably give you enough to cover that. Now, let me ask you this now, can these funds do not have to necessarily qualify under their regular guidelines? This is, we just know they're residents of Macon County that needs assistance. Now, they don't have to be at poverty level and all of that, right?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. I think we might be able to get some movement on that. Board of Education, PPE, that's great. EMA. Of course, that's something the commission can deal with. Have not got any movement on that because that was something, that's something that we can go ahead and do up front, but we just gotta get some movement internally on that. I don't know why the ball is dropped on that. Ms. Frazier, about your other part of your project, did you get your question answered on that?
No, I wanted to say our original ask included $15,000 for testing.
What's happening? Okay, mute him, please. Mute him.
Okay, my original request included $15,000 for testing in different locations throughout the county and for a lab technician. So what I think what we have received so far is for the purchase of a freezer and then some basic materials like PPEs and that. So we were supposed to get $10,000. From what I understand, we just gotten the amount for the freezer. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I wanted to know if we would be able to get any of the other funding that was under that original request.
Yes, so the freezer was in the budget as well as the $8,000 for the lab technician.
Okay. So will we be able to get that, or do we have to wait until we show that we paid the lab technician? Because we really don't have the funding up front to pay for a part-time lab technician.
I would need to see a payroll. What I would suggest is that when you are ready for that money, submit a request for it, and then I can go ahead and draw that money down. And then to show proof of that, I want to see a payroll after it's spent. If you plan on it spending it quickly, the $8,000.
Okay, so can I ask this question? Because we were doing the lab technician as a consultant. It wasn't a payroll type thing.
Okay.
So can we use the $8,000 in technicians and people that we use to do the testings in different areas? And show where we have paid those individuals?
Yes.
And get that reimbursed?
Yes, we can do
Okay.
that.
Okay,
as long as it's after that 7/28/21 date.
okay,
That's the magic date.
okay. And what's the date again?
7/28/21. That is the date of the county's removal of grant conditions. Anything after that, we can count.
Okay. Okay, and, all right, that's all my questions. So that's the information on the other things that we requested, Mr. Chairman, is not under this funding. It's under other funding.
Okay. So you're straight as far as this fund is, right?
Right,
Okay,
And if you would submit that to the county, and then if it can come from you to me for processing, that would be an easy way to, that way I know that the county also approved it.
okay.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Lee has shown us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't aware of the meeting. I got a call about 5 minutes ago and asked me to come down here. I wasn't even aware this meeting was occurring.
Okay, well, we apologize. I thought you were even not included in the email chain?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Anyway, what we're talking about is, and I think you and I talked about this here, I asked you to go ahead on and get to put in a request for this stuff. Have you done that? Have you done?
I've gotten some information, but I didn't know the procedure. I was just waiting to find out what we needed to do on it. This is my first knowledge of the meeting, and I would have been prepared had I known it.
We have several email addresses. We need to confirm those because it was forwarded to several of your email addresses.
Well, I didn't receive it. I would have been here. I didn't receive it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get that straightened out then, okay? But basically what we need is to go ahead on and matter of fact, in your case, I would just go ahead on and put it in as a requisition request
Okay.
for the items that we need, so that then I can get with her and we can see if we can get it approved.
I apologize.
And
for not knowing.
if we can't do it that way, we might just try to see how we can go it on and repurchase and then get reimbursed on this. I don't think we should be able to handle that. All we just need to get your request in on this, okay?
Yes, sir.
And, let's go from there.
Okay.
And I think we're working on Ashton. I think this might be one that we can do a reimbursement on. But we need to go on and get everything, so we can get everything approved under this, okay? Now, in this one, Mr. Lee, this was supposed to be that countywide notification system, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we need to get that in operation ASAP.
Yes, sir. You did include that.
Okay. Ashton, is there anything else you think we need to cover, that we need to know? Because I really want to try to see if we can expend these funds by the end of January, if at all possible.
Okay.
Try to get this one behind us by the end of January. So that we can get, we just put this one in the background. Now, you said something about,
That's wrong. It's Frank H.
administration costs, that you're gonna waive that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me
Just
suggest
send it back to me.
that we put that into testing, Miss Frazier.
Yes,
Can we move, because we really move some more money into testing, because, we need to do a lot of testing and vaccination now, more than ever.
yes, that's what I was,
So,
when I
Ashton, can we
originally-
move, Ms. Frazier, can we move this $5,000 up to healthcare authority, include that and add that to your testing initiative?
Yes, sir.
Yes, from a budget standpoint, we would deobligate 5,000 from admin, and we would move it to equipment line item. But I will note here that that's what it's for whenever I see it come in. So
Okay,
it'll fall under equipment with the other money.
okay.
Okay, but it would be under Macon Healthcare Authority.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah, let's go
You
ahead
will see it
and,
on a budget as equipment, I'm sorry to interrupt.
okay, we'll see it on the budget of equipment, but we know we're using it
It's
for.
reserved for.
okay.
We really need to beef up the testing. Okay. Well, what I would do then, I would try to see if I can arrange a meeting with, the, Economic Development Authority to be able to try to come up with a method for these grants right away. And the, community action, I don't think that should be a problem. Go ahead and have them identify individuals that's in need right now. And then we can, send a request for payment on that and see how that works, okay?
Okay. I would be happy to participate in the meeting with the Development Authority,
Okay,
just to give them some guidance, if you'd like for me to.
okay, well, I do apologize that nobody, no more, is no people are not on here. I mean, they've been calling me, saying that they wanted the meeting and for some reason they didn't show up. But I think we've got enough information, hopefully we can move.
I have a quick question. Will the Community Action Agency be supervising the rental assistance as well as the utility assistance?
No,
The residents?
they're just doing residential assistance, utility assistance.
That's what I'm saying. Residential utility assistance and rental assistance, are they doing both of those?
Yes.
Yeah, but I thought how are we gonna do it? We're gonna do rental assistance, has been a grant, or what is that?
No, sir, not rental assistance,
Okay. So they
not
do,
residential.
so how would they do the rental assistance then? Because, again, you know, the person, they got clients that need rental assistance. Do they just have to identify those individuals and come up with a number
Yes, sir.
and send in a request for those?
That's
Okay,
correct.
just like we do the utility.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if at any point these funds cannot be used for the activity that they're designated, you know that you can reallocate funds to another activity. There are a number of different things you could use these funds for. I do want to mention that, because I know you said you wanted to spend funds, and if it becomes apparent that we cannot spend all of these funds under these activities, we can relocate funds.
Okay. I don't think that's gonna be a big problem, because there's a need there in terms of just making sure getting the procedure down so that we can make it happen. That's the only challenge there. And if you wouldn't, I'm gonna give Mr. Turner, and then we'll see if we get a conference call on this grant to help these local businesses, then I think that would work that out, because that's the real issue right there. The food assistance, I understood now, is that first I'm gonna try to see if they can identify how much they've already spent since July 28th. And collect those receipts, they can apply for reimbursement for what they've already spent to utilize these funds. Okay, sound like a winner.
And I would like to reiterate that the business grants and loans is more difficult because it's giving HUD money to a for-profit business. So, you know, HUD's reserved for low-income individuals mostly. There is a waiver for it to be used for this purpose. It just gets a little more complicated when you're dealing with a for-profit business.
Okay, so if I understand you, if rental assistance becomes an issue, and residential utility assistance is more of a need, we can switch that to residential utility assistance.
Not a problem.
Because I think that's like gonna be the easiest way to do it. Okay. Mr. Lee, did you have any specific questions on?
No, sir, no, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Mayor Haygood has joined us.
Mayor Haygood, how are you? Is he unmuted?
Great. How you doing?
Good morning, Your Honor. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. We were just trying to answer the question, get some information in terms of how we can spend these funds. Do you have any specific questions for Ms. Ashton? I know.
What was that? Not at this time.
Okay, because we're getting close to the end of this, and we talked about the trying to specifically how we can help local businesses, and we think we've come up with a method as how we can probably, particularly a local business having issues, and I think we can do the grant process, and
Okay.
so I'm going to. Mr. Turner is not on this meeting. But as soon as I get off this meeting, I'm gonna try to pull up a meet with him so we can go ahead and get something in place. And Ashton has agreed to work with us to make sure that we can make that work as fast as possible.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right? Judge Cooper? Judge Cooper,
Oh, yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
good morning. Did you have anything you want to raise up?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I was just, the question regarding, the emergency notification system was, part of the original proposal that may possibly, EMA Director Lee may have submitted. I don't know if that was part of that proposal or not.
Yeah, this was part of this, and we've discussed that, and Mr. Lee's gonna go ahead and get the paperwork process for that, so we can try to get that moving. Frank, if I have an idea from the day of, say, purchase, contract, how long it take to put that system in place?
I'll let you know Monday, I'm talking with them, I'll give you a better idea on it Monday.
Okay, but that wasn't, to answer the question, that is included in there, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? Again, let me thank you all so much, and Ashton, thank you so much for coming, driving down to be with us.
Good job on that.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, thank you for taking time to join in with us, and Judge Cooper, we certainly appreciate you all. And our goal is to try to make sure that we expend all of these funds by the end of January, okay?
Okay.
That's the goal, and we're gonna try to see if we can make that happen, okay? We hope we can get these out the way and make room for some more money to come in. All right, thank you all. Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you, Ashton, for coming down. Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
All right. We're gonna close this meeting then. Again, Chief, thank you very much, appreciate that.